Poor Marty.
Right. I think we're alive. Some of us are more alive than others.
Literally.
All right, we're going now, Martin. It's Monday Night Football. It's halftime. It's me. It's Dave Dameshek. It's Martin Weiss, who is in charge of programming this, but he's now frozen. I don't know. I think he's going to be in and out for the next 12 minutes, but we're going to try to help you make money off this. I don't know. Another bad game, Shaq. I've been saying it. I don't know if this is just because I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars gambling, but it seemed like one of the worst football weeks in a long, long time. This game is tied 9-9 at halftime. Seattle was a 1.5-point favorite. 46.5 was the over-under. Martin has left us. I don't know how that's possible. He's controlling this feed. But anyway, what do we think?
I know. Well, this is weird. Yes, we're the big underdogs here today. But yes, to clarify, it was a bad week of pro football. And
yes, sure.
Only bad in college football if you were a fan of a handful of teams, or in fact, today, even worse if you're
I got crazy.
An Oklahoma fan or a Notre Dame fan or otherwise. We'll wax about that stuff. You'll do it on Against All Odds, and we'll do it on Extra Points later in the week. But yes, to the matter at hand, this is a stinker of a game, fitting of a fitting game to wrap up this stinker of a.
Well, here's the thing, weekend, and I don't want to get into it about quarterback saturation. This is going to happen every now and then, but it has been awful. First of all, we knew Chicago, Detroit to start was not going to be a barn burner. We're not going to get excited about that at all. And then you had Dallas and Las Vegas, which there were 14 plus penalties on both sides. Something that, and it's a shame too, because it was like the most watched regular season game in many, many years. That was an awful game, and not just because my team lost. Then yesterday morning, 27 turnovers in 7 games in the early games, 9 in 3 games in the afternoon games, and then the Browns-Ravens. I'm still not sure what I saw there, but Lamar is still throwing picks, and he's going to throw picks all the way to an AFC North crown, I think. Somehow they're minus 200 on FanDuel. I know, but I think we got to get used to them just pulling out games that don't belong to them, and everybody else scratching their head and their ass and saying, what happened here? But again, and now we're looking at 9-9. The second half line is Seattle minus 2.5, and to end the game to 2.5, right? And 23.5 is the.
Well, let's start there. I take the Seahawks here. It really is very difficult. I know it's fun. It makes bum games more engaging to put something on them, but it's also much more difficult. How are we to know? These are 2 junk teams. Who's going to stink a little less over the final 30 minutes? I guess it's the team that has Russell Wilson on it. So give me the Seahawks with just a whisker of confidence in that one. But by the way, just to get it in there, I like the Bengals plus 230, and not just because they shamed my favorite pro football team for the second time this year. They're the better football team. They, week to week, you can overreact to one game, but they did destroy the Ravens in Baltimore earlier in the season. I suspect they'll do that again when they face off. I think that trend of, I really need to confirm this because it's true in my brain, at least, that the trend of specific matchups do go one way or the other all the time. It doesn't feel like that thing of like, oh, these are 2 bitter rivals in the division. They split they're going to go 1-1 against each other. Feel like if you beat a team once last year, that carries over, that the matchups inherently favor you. That feels like that's what's winning out here.
Maybe. Bengals have the Steelers number. Let's not forget, it wasn't 2 months ago. It was fairly recently. They lost to the Jets. And the Browns pounded them. They were never in that game. We could do this with every team. Every team has got find 2 weeks in a row where they've played well. It's very.
I know everybody loves to do this every year, and people get amnesia about the last few years. And every single year, you can go on social media and confirm this, that people do this thing. No one's good. We don't know anything. We know less now than we did at the start of the season and all that. But this is really the craziest year as far as that goes. Even though Green Bay's good and the Patriots, Buccaneers and everything else, but really the number 1 seed in the AFC right now it's the Baltimore Ravens. Did you watch them? Did you watch them last night?
I know. But Lamar I'm saying that's just kind of what we have to get used to with them. They get off to slow starts. They're in ugly games. Their kicker bails them out. Their quarterback looks great. He looks terrible. Can you imagine throwing 3 interceptions in 6 attempts at one point? and still winning the game, like fairly, like, you know, they covered the spread. Like, I don't know what I'm watching when I watch that game. And now this one, the Seattle Washington game, I had to bang my head against the wall a couple of times. I'm like, whoever thought this was going to be a good game? It's like, oh yeah, they both won their divisions last year. It's hard to believe.
Right.
They both won their divisions, and yet, and I want to put an exclamation point on that and say, and they have no chance of making the playoffs, but it's just not so, because they're like a game out. Like Washington's 5-6, right? They're a game out of the 7th
I'm
spot.
surprised it's an indictment of Washington that you, a Cowboys fan, are watching this kind of like, what's the difference? You're not scared at all of this Washington team, and with a win, they're kind of pressing your team, I guess.
Well, we play them twice too, so that'll come out in the laundry either way. They'd have to beat us twice. So,
speaking of not sustainable, the Seahawks aren't winning games, but the relative disappearance of DK Metcalf this season is weird. Put me down for a touchdown in the second half. If this game tilts towards the Seahawks, I think at some point, like I say, trends and, you know, it's overstated about, the rah-rah stuff and we got to get this guy going and everything else. But I think legitimately Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and everyone else understands if, Metcalf says, probably not smartly, says, we're going to win the rest of our games. And, pulls one of those statements. Well, if that's going to be true, he will have to rise up and play differently than he's played the majority of the season. I'm playing a hunch. I don't have a better individual touchdown prop to throw out there, so I'm going to go with that one. I think DK Metcalf sneaks behind Washington once and gets in the end zone. It's weird already that he can't seem to be more productive given how good he was last year. And I know Russ has been out for a while, but still,
I'm so bummed. I had Lockett to score first touchdown at plus 900 or plus 850 somewhere in there. Oh, Russ finds him down. I kind of underthrows it. Then Lockett's tackled the 10, goes right back to him. The pass didn't have a chance, and then he ends up hitting on the third play or third down. He hits who's the tight end they got from the Rams, the kid Gerald Everett, right? 14-1 odds. So that was that's what won for first touchdown. I
tried to high five Gerald Everett when he scored the game-winning touchdown.
Oh yeah, I remember that
the Rams
picture.
Against the Chiefs in that shootout game in the Coliseum. He was right next to me celebrating, and I gave him one of these. He left me hanging.
He did.
Not a Gerald Everett guy now.
Is it like Martin Weiss has left us hanging here in the StreamYard here in the room?
I'm just going to leave my hand up for him until he gives me a high five here digitally. Yeah.
How about this? To celebrate the shitty week that is week 13, no, week 12. This is week 12 we're getting out of. It's an unlucky week 12. I'm betting both interceptions. So Heineke to throw an interception is plus 190 in the second half. And Russ to throw an interception is plus 260. One of those is hitting. So just put 100,000 to win 260,000 on Russ and 100,000 to win 190,000. Now, if neither throws an interception, you're kind of screwed. But if one of them does, at least you'll win at least 90,000. You're back. You heard that, right? You heard that, Martin. You're good with that?
I've heard everything. I've been behind the scenes. Because every time I turn the camera on, it starts to mess up. I just want to say, Heineke over second half rushing yards. He's going to run it sometime in this. I want to get that one out while the internet is still allowing me to get it.
Okay.
May try to get everybody some money.
So wait, what does he have, Martin? Because I have him over 18.5 yards to begin with. So what is he? He's probably close to that anyway, isn't he? Let's see what it is. I don't know.
Let me see right
now. I know
now.
he had two scampers. Probably has about 15, I would think. But and what is the number? Do you see it? What is it for the second half? Oh, we'll find it. What else, Shaq? Sing us a song.
Well, I'm just kind of ruminating here on what the takeaways are. It's hard to really identify who the big winners of the weekend are. I guess is it LSU even? Like if we have to jump away,
no,
it's Jim Harbaugh.
No, it's not hard. It's not hard to. The big winner of the weekend is one answer: it's University of Michigan. Ann Arbor. That is it. And Jim Harbaugh. That's it. That is the big winner of the weekend.
Let's very quickly. We'll dig deeper on this surely before Saturday with 2 extra points to come between now and then. Remember, this sport that you're talking about, those Michigan Wolverines, like everybody else that they play, comprised mostly of 19 and 20-year-olds, more susceptible than the pros are to being supposed to win a game. They took care of the hard one already. They beat Ohio State. They celebrated. It looked like it was a crazy thing. I like when that happens, that the Big House looked like there were more people down on the field and in the stands than could conceivably be in the place.
You know
right?
why? Because our friends Harry and Ken were there. They were actually up there. They were probably the only two that didn't make it down. I told them in the beginning of the second half, I was like, hey, you guys are slow. Make your way down the field now if you're thinking of storming. But I think they stormed the concession stand instead. But
11.5 they're giving to Iowa. I'm sure
that's a lot.
That all the public loot is going to go on Iowa, right?
That's a lot.
And I think that's kind of smart.
And especially as shitty as Iowa, losing 21-6 to Nebraska in the fourth quarter. And I know everyone's made their mind up about Michigan.
Now everything comes down. Iowa, this is it. Like they come in, devil may care attitude. We had a pretty good season. Then it got a little bad in the final third for us. But they show up for this one and knock off Michigan, then it's a legendary season for them. That's a scary spot to be Michigan.
Congratulations, Martin. Michigan did it. And that was a nice moment with Juwan Howard and Harbaugh in the middle of the field. That was fun. Great for Michigan fans all around. But hope they finish up business here, right?
Where'd you go? Just the idea of saying Michigan is in a scary spot, being in the Big Ten championship game is crazy. No, they're in the Big Ten championship game. It's the first time they've been here ever. Like, it's not a scary spot. This is new territory. That's what it is.
We are going to we're going to cut out now because I think they're coming back for the second half. Dave's got his pick. DK Metcalf 2 score, 8 touchdown, plus 270. Martin, you like Heineke? He has 2 rushing yards. He must have had one called back on a penalty because I've been watching this. You like him over rushing yards in the second half. I feel like they locked that on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/extra points to find this. And I like both quarterbacks to throw an interception. I think you're sitting pretty. At least one of them will get
that's fun. I like that.
And plus 190. It's been a terrible week of football, Shaq, and this counts as last week. Sorry, doesn't count as the new week.
Oh, I just remembered who the big winner is of the weekend.
Go ahead.
It's Cousin Sal and all Metropolitan supporters.
Oh, isn't that nice? Really?
You got the clutchest pitcher. He's not the best pitcher because Clayton Kershaw is that, but or maybe it's Verlander or whoever. But
it's Jacob DeGrom. We have that guy too. We have we have 1 and 2. No, listen, it's first of all, it's nice. It's a long way to go, but if we get to October and you're looking at that 1 and 2, DeGrom, Scherzer, I don't care, short series, long series, that's a mess. A and B, we probably took him from the Phillies or some team we didn't want to get, or God forbid the Yankees. So it's a good signing. I don't care how old he is. He's going to eat up innings. It's nice. You're right, Sheck. It should be Max Scherzer day. Now instead we're talking about Notre Dame coaching and LSU coaching and all this other nonsense.
Oh, not in Pittsburgh. They're not. They're talking about something quite different. Like, Dave, what are we going to do? I think the Steelers are going to win another game this year, dude. This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for all the guys.
You have COVID concerns. I have a feeling your COVID loss is worse than my team's COVID loss, which is Mike McCarthy, which I'm not sure it makes a hell of a
TJ Watt, give me your COVID. I'll take it for you, man. This is a must win against the Ravens. The season's really over if you don't win this game. Give it to me.
It works like that. That's great. I don't know. Martin, what do you think? Anything else while we still have you?
No, he just can't believe anybody would pick would take Iowa plus 11.5 against mighty Michigan.
Go ahead, Martin.
No, Dave. Actually, I'm going to have to bet Iowa plus 10.5 because I have a future on Michigan to win the Big Ten championship.
Wow. So you won't even take the plus money. You'll take the spread and try to middle, right? You're not going to take the plus money? He can't hear me. He didn't hear a goddamn word I said. That's all right.
No, because I don't want to win it like that.
I got you. You want to get the middle. Good for you. I like that. Good for you.
I don't think a real fan would do it that way.
He's counting his money. He's got to buy Christmas gifts. He got out of Thanksgiving, a holiday he despises. Lucky he came out unscathed. All right, he's left us. We're going to leave you now. Check us out on Extra Points on Wednesday. And then again on Friday, it's me, it's Sheck, it's Martin.